Welcome
to
Howdy
Radio.
The
Next
Gen 8
Shun. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Howdy Radio, the next generation, episode 3. We made it to episode 3, man.
That's crazy.
That's awesome, right?
Yep.
So we just to let everybody know, we're still kind of getting some bugs out and everything of how everything with this show is working. We know that some people has had some problems on their podcatchers to where only one of the episodes instead of both of the episodes were showing up. We had a little bit of a problem getting episode 2 onto Lane's YouTube page. And that's just stuff that we're kind of learning how to do this again as we go. So just bear with us. Within the next couple episodes, we should have everything ironed out. I think the show is now on Google Play. I submitted it. It said it was accepted, but I don't have Google Play, so I don't really have a way to check to see if it's on there or not. But everything should be good. But give us a couple episodes to finally get it all worked out, just so everybody knows. But thanks for hanging in there with us. So today, we've got a really cool show. We got a cool special guest for you here in a little bit. Our old buddy from the old Howdy Inc. days. The biggest Howdy Inc. super fan and the Howdy Inc. historian is different words we've called him. Smoothie will be our special guest today. It's our first special guest that we've done over Skype, not sitting here in the studio with us, so it's pretty cool. We're happy we're kind of getting into stuff like that. So stay tuned later on in the episode for that. It's a very, very cool interview. We had a lot of fun doing it. So make sure you check that out. So, Lane.
Yes?
What's been going on, man? Anything fun in your world this week since we've talked to these people last?
Well, at my school, I had Fine Arts Night, which is, like, they put up artwork of our artwork the whole entire year, and then we also have a little performance, and yeah.
So what was your performance? Like, what was it? Tell the people what kind of performance it was.
So ours was, not choir because we're not even in 6th grade yet, but it is kind of choir. It was just singing instruments, and it was the Great American Road Trip.
Now the name of the show was the Great American Road Trip.
So it was like traveling across the United States and doing different songs, and
did you have what was your favorite part of the show?
Well, during
hold on. Let's back up. How long did it take you? It was your whole class, your whole 5th grade class, right?
The whole of 5th grade.
Yeah, which is 4 different classrooms.
Yes.
So the whole 5th grade class. How long did you guys work on it up until the big show?
We started on it right after the Christmas show.
Oh, wow.
Which was, when was that?
That was like kind of middle of December or so.
Yeah, like almost. We began it on it like once we got back from
Christmas break.
From Christmas break.
So early January is when you started it, up until March. So that's 3 months of work on that. And
it does take a while because of all extra instruments and everything.
Yeah, that's what I like about.
Have to go together.
That's what I like about this show is you guys got all the singing and stuff, but there's also like the bongo drums and what are the little bell things that they hit on? I should totally know the names of those. The ones that are on
xylophones?
Xylophone, yeah.
Oh my god.
Shut up. So it was a cool show. So all right, so let me go back. So it took you 3 months to work on it. You worked on it in music class.
Yes.
Once a week or?
Yes, once a week.
Once a week. So you had once a week for like 3 months to get ready for it. And then did you guys have like a big rehearsal for it?
We had rehearsals for a week. But in my opinion, I feel like we should have it for more than a week because at the show we did have a couple like bad parts. Yeah. So.
It's just hard to come up with that much time to be able to have that many rehearsals, but
because we had to take up the whole entire gym.
Yeah.
And we could only have it for like a week.
And what's cool is the school that he goes to, they're kind of tearing part of it down, building up part of it for the next year. So this was actually the last one of these performances in this gym.
Yes.
So that's kind of neat that you got to be the last one to perform in that gym that has been there for 100+ years.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. All right, so you put a bunch of hard work into it. What was your favorite part of the show, and why?
So we did a song. It was the very end. It was a surprise song, even though I'm pretty sure I told a couple people about it already. I didn't know it was supposed to be a surprise. It was "Can't Stop the Feeling" by Justin Timberlake, and we were like doing these weird dance moves and stuff. And me and one of my friends really didn't want to do that stuff. So at one point we like did a weird hand motion, and then me and my friend just like imaginary just shot a 3-pointer.
So like the basketball, like swoosh, like with the hands.
Yeah. But then at the end, I could tell everybody's face was so confused when we did that, and like when we would do it because we did it every single time, and everybody could see us because we stood out when that happened. And I'm okay with standing out with that kind of stuff, but then at the end, with all the 3-pointers I shot, everybody said that I shot 100 3-pointers and I made one of them.
Oh,
which,
that's
not really that good.
You need to practice your pretend three-pointers a little bit more.
It's kind of hard. Though also the xylophone's over there, so if I would have missed, I would have hit one of them.
Yeah.
So
I think that was my favorite part of the show was when you played the xylophone. And like you, at the very last note, like the song ends on like you hitting the xylophone on the very last note of the song, and then like you threw your hands up in the air, like that's it, I'm not touching it anymore, I'm done.
It wasn't like I wasn't touching it. It was like
that's what it was like. It was like I didn't play after the song was over. I stopped when I was supposed to stop. I recorded the whole thing. I should put it on my YouTube. So we're talking about it. If people want to watch it, I will. I'll upload that.
But it was like because
that was my favorite part was when you threw your hands up in the air after the xylophone.
What it was left, right, cross, right. I can't think of the actual notes that it was. I know I was doing it correctly, but I can't think of what it was. And then at the end, it's left, right, left again instead of the cross. And then it was like I was a drummer, and I just put my hands up in the air. It was really cool.
That was very cool. That was my favorite
I was glad that, because I shared the xylophone with one of my friends. And I was glad that we decided that I was going to go last, because I didn't even think that I would do that, and then I just got
Did you
caught
plan on throwing your hands up? No, okay.
All of this stuff that I did, the only thing that was planned was the basketball thing. That was the only thing that was planned.
Let's be real here. You've done a bunch of these types of shows now, whether it be Fine Arts Night or the Christmas thing or whatever. You have a very good history of doing something extremely goofy while you're performing. Like the one year you did the little finger dance, and we were all just sitting in the crowd just cracking up because why is my kid up there doing a finger dance and nobody anyway? So I guess it's become expected at this point for Lane to do something goofy during these shows. But it was very cool.
Most of these things I don't even plan to do. I just do it.
There's nothing wrong with that. It makes it interesting. Yep. All right, let's talk about what really our only news for the week is that the Gorillaz finally announced their new album.
Yes.
Finally. First of all, sorry for so much Gorillaz talk. This is not intended to be a Gorillaz podcast.
Yes.
But it's one of mine and Lane's favorite bands.
We started at a weird time.
Yeah, it happened to be prime Gorilla time when we started this podcast. They've not released an album in 7 years. Well, 6 years.
Has it been 7?
And
No.
Lane got into them a lot within the last year or so. So it's like the first album they've released since he's been.
It was 7 years.
7 years ago was Plastic Beach. 6 years ago was The Fall.
I thought that was in 2007.
No,
I thought it was.
It was not.
Oh, no, okay.
No. But whatever. So, it's just one of them things. Like, that's what's happening right now. So, we're going to talk about it now. We're going to tell you all about the cool album, the new album that's coming out. And then a month from now, we're going to have a review of the album. Yeah. And we'll try to keep the Gorillaz talk to a minimum other than that. But, anyway, we're very excited. So, that's why we're talking about it. So, the new album, tell them the new album, when it comes out, and let's get into it.
So, the new album is Humanz. And
with a Z, of course.
Yes, with a Z, because that's the fashion. And it comes out on April 28th. Yes, that is correct. I think about it, yes, it is correct.
Yeah, which is cool. It's only a month away. A lot of times a band announces an album and you still got to wait like 5 or 6 months. So we only got 1 month to wait for this album.
What's funny is that I was watching the interview on BBC One. I was watching like an actual YouTube interview from the actual radio that we were listening to.
Yeah.
And what is his name?
David Albarn.
David Albarn. They were talking, and we were like, and the guy that was interviewing was like, so when do you think this is gonna come out? And then he was like, well, I don't really know. And then everybody was like, oh, so it's probably gonna come out like probably from a month from now, because that's most of the time when they release, like when they announce an album. Sometimes it's like a month or two away.
Yeah. Sometimes it's even longer than that. That's why I was happy that it's only a month
away.
But
then they did actually announce that it is April 28th.
They put it on their Instagram. What day? It was like Tuesday of this week, maybe Wednesday of this week, maybe
Tuesday or Wednesday.
And they started posting. I mean, we knew it was coming. Yeah. And the night before, they had announced that he was going to be on BBC One Radio the next day. So we were finally like, okay, tomorrow's the album announcement, finally.
But and also, they had already announced the festival, so you might have just talked about the festival.
Yeah.
So there was no actual confirmation about it.
But then the next morning, the day of the album announcement, they started posting on their Instagram the artwork for the album, which I'm still not 100% sure on the artwork of the album for the cover of the album. I think there's 4 different covers of the album with the 4 different members, which is the 4 different covers of the singles.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure on that, because they I don't know that they've really said that this is the cover of the album. But if you go on, like, different record store websites to, like, pre-order the album, the one that they have on there is the cover with Noodle. That's, like, the one that's all of them. That's who they're all using, that one picture of Noodle. So I'm not real sure.
For the single?
Yeah, but as the actual cover of the full album, Humanz.
That's weird.
I think that is weird. I'm not...
I don't think that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, it might not be. I don't know.
I think that's what they're using.
Yeah, but they released 4 songs off of the album. So they did, Damon was on BBC One Radio, like Lane said.
Yes.
And it was pretty cool the way that they did it. He was on there, and they played 2 new songs off
BBC
of the
One.
album. And which the first one that they played, and it was right after Lane got out of school. And
it was
live on the radio. And so I'm sitting here listening to it on BBC One, and I'm like, damn, I wish Lane would get home so he could miss it. It's live, I couldn't pause it or anything. But then he got home right after they played the first song, and he was still being interviewed, and I was like, dude, come on, they announced the Gorillaz album, come and listen.
I walked in, and I had no idea what you were listening to, and it was so
loud.
I was like, are you watching something on the TV? I was so confused. And then I walk in, and there's the speakers on, and I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, I was like, all right, you missed one song, sit down, they're still going to play another one. And then, so they played those 2 songs, and then on another radio station right after that, Radio X, another European station, I guess, they played a 3rd song, and then on Apple's Beats One, they played a 4th song. So we weren't able to listen to the 3rd or the 4th song, but they all ended up on Spotify just a few minutes after that anyway. So we listened to all 4 songs. So let's quickly kind of just run through that.
So,
the first song that they released was Andromeda. That was the one that Lane missed. I think that one out of the 4 sounds most Gorillaz-ish.
Yeah.
You've got 2D doing his little thing during the choruses and stuff. And it sounds just like any Gorillaz song, really. Yeah. And I think it was a very good song. I was very pleased with that being the first single. It
does sound like some stuff like off of Demon Days, maybe, because you do hear 2D a lot.
Yeah, which is great. Way, way, way better than Hallelujah Money. So that made me feel, which is also on the album. It's the second to the last song on the album. But it made me feel a lot better that, okay, this song doesn't completely suck.
Yes.
So they played that one, and then the next one that they played was Saturn's Bars, right? Is that the name of it?
Saturn?
Saturn's Bars.
Oh, it is Saturn's?
Yep, both with Z's at the end of it.
I didn't know that it was Saturn's Bars.
And the guy featured on that one, they mentioned on BBC Radio that he's like a reggae artist. So this song is nuts. It really is.
It's
and
really good song.
but it is a very cool song.
Yes.
I like it a lot. And they released a music video for this song.
They've only released one music video, and it's for that song.
And it's for that
they
song.
Just have official audio for the other ones.
Yes.
On the YouTube.
Yes. So
on the YouTube.
Yep, on the YouTube. So that one, Saturn Bars, so that was a cool video for that. They released 2 different versions of the video. Tell them about the two different versions. What was the one that we watched?
So we watched, the first one that we watched was a 360 version. And, of course, we couldn't.
It is so hard.
It's so hard to actually pay attention and actually know where you're supposed to be in the 360. And in it, Murdoch is like flying around in space, and you see his penis.
You sure do. And Lane yelled at me while we were watching this video because, like he said, it's hard to watch a 360 video like that.
And then it just
once I'm I had the laptop on my lap. I was the one that was controlling where it was going. So there was a few times we were watching it and it was like there's nothing. So obviously I'm looking in the wrong place. And then at one point there's Murdoch. He's one of the members of the band. He's the main member of the band. He's the one that sold his soul to the devil to make Gorillaz. And he's floating around in outer space with no clothes on, very Murdoch-like.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And he has no clothes on. He's a cartoon, by the way. If anybody doesn't know that who the Gorillaz are, they're cartoons. We probably should have led with that. It's not. So it's cartoon penis. And so he's floating through outer space with no clothes on. I feel like we really should have mentioned that cartoon thing a little bit earlier than what we just did. But he has no clothes on, and there's his penis. Yeah. And so as he's floating through space, and it's this 3D video, I'm trying to use my mouse, and I'm trying to keep up with where Murdoch is. Because obviously, that was the focal point of that scene, and it was better than looking at nothing, I guess, I thought. And Lane's like, why are you following Murdoch's penis around? I was like, well, I don't know, I guess. So, and then Lane just informed me right before we started to record this that they also released a 2D version.
Because we couldn't see anything on the 360 version, so I just wanted to actually watch the actual
just
one.
the regular old music video, which I haven't watched yet, but he informed me that...
It is actually very good if you watch it.
Yeah, I definitely need to watch it. But he informed me that on the 2D version that they censor Murdoch's penis. So why on the 3D version it's there, but not, I don't know. That's
maybe because if you're watching the video, you have to see it.
Yeah.
But like for the 360 version, you don't have to.
I don't know. But it was a cool video from what I could tell from the 360 version, but it's really hard to see anything in those types of videos because you don't know where. I remember Queens of the Stone Age released one when they released their Like Clockwork album. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I watched and I was like, I must have just been looking in the wrong place the whole time because it was stupid. I just couldn't, I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I'd rather just have a regular old video that I can sit there and watch, and they can tell me what I'm supposed to be looking at instead of me having to scroll around and try to figure it out. And it just, I don't know. It's a very, very cool concept, of course. It's very cool that you can do something like that. But realistically, I don't know. It just doesn't work out for me, I guess. And 20 years from now, when you watch the video of it, it'll just be the regular video, not the 360. So whatever. But so there was that one, and there was two more songs that were kind of shorter songs. They were both only a couple minutes long. There was Ascension, and there was We Got the Power. And I think they're both kind of transition songs on the album, which is cool, because then I don't feel like they released 4 major songs off of the album. The other 2 were just kind of other little ones. And, the Ascension song, I think, was my least favorite of the 4 that they released. I'm not totally on board quite yet with that one, I don't think. But We Got the Power, I think that could be a really cool...
It definitely reminded me of Dare.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I bet that would be a lot of fun live. I think that'll be a cool live song to see. So those are the 4 songs that they released. The 2 main ones, the 2 kind of not so main ones. But I'm still really looking forward to the album, so... And then there's also the stupid song that they released. So we've heard 5 of the songs out of, 14, I think, that are on...
24.
No, though it was not as many songs as they thought it was going to be. It was like 14 songs, and then there's like 6 bonus tracks or something like that.
You said 24, though.
Yeah.
I remember earlier you saying 24.
Yeah, so, but that's it. So we've heard a good chunk of the album, technically.
Yes.
We've heard almost a third of the album, really, at this point. Sometimes I think that's too many songs for a band to release. Sometimes I think they go a little overboard with the singles nowadays.
I think the first 2 songs would be as much as they should have.
Yeah. It was cool, but, I mean, the way this album has been hyped up and everything, they've done just a fantastic job. I need to bring that up. And then they did a secret show the next day in London, where they played through the entire album from front to back, and then they had a bunch of special guests. Noel Gallagher from Oasis was one of the special guests, who has always not got along with Damon Albarn. They've like kind of been enemies for a long time, but apparently now they've made up, and I'm curious to know more about what happened. And he came out and did that we got the power. He was a part of that song when they did it live. So I did want to, and so that's really about it. That's the Gorillaz album. Comes out Humanz April 28th. Once it comes out, you're going to have to listen to us talk about it and give a review on it and everything, so be ready for that.
At least it's not next week.
Yep. So yeah, you'll have a couple week break until we'll talk about Gorillaz again. But real quick, before we wrap up this part, I just wanted to let everybody know I went to that Max Sabbath and Oakley Dokley show that we talked about last week. I won't go into crazy details on it or anything, but it was one of the most fun concerts I have ever been to in my life, and that's saying something because I've been to a few concerts in my life, but it was so good. So if Max Sabbath ever comes to your town, go see him. It is well worth it. You got anything else, Lane?
No, I don't.
All right, let's get into this interview with Smoothie.
Yeah. A special guest this week is a guy that's been down with Howdy since the very beginning, the one and only Smoothie.
Hello,
What's
sirs.
up, Smoothie?
Hello, sirs. How are you?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a long time since I've been in this seat and on the other end of this conversation. It feels good to be back.
When was the last time that you and I did that? It was like 5 years ago then, right?
2012, yep. That was the last.
2012. The last Howdy Radio.
Yep.
So what have you been up to in those 5 years?
I'm still working at the same place of employment. You can still find me on the webs, intermingled and sprinkled throughout. But other than that, just living the dream, the American dream, if you will.
Good.
So
all
nothing
right.
in a roundabout way.
So nothing at all. It's been a boring 5 years for you.
Yes.
Then. You've been running a lot lately, haven't you?
I have. My goal for 2017 was to lose 85 pounds, and I could share this here now with you gentlemen. On January 1st, when I weighed myself, I was 285 pounds, and as of today, I am 245 pounds, so I'm already down 40 pounds of that.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I see your, on Instagram, I always see the map runner things, and I'm like, dang, he's running pretty far now.
I'm dedicated.
What are you up to? You're up to like 6 or so miles a day, right?
When I go out, I typically do 6.5 to 7 miles. It's my chance to really clear my head and think. That's why I go so. Of course, I have to be in work, but I like to go so early in the morning to.
Yeah.
You're
an early.
Oh yeah, it's very peaceful. No cars, no nothing.
Yeah.
You can just clear your mind.
Headphones. You always listening to music when you're running?
No, listen to. That throws me off. Actually, I need just the natural ambiance, if you will.
Right on. I would have to have music if I was doing that. I would have to.
You always listen to music. I'm shocked that you're not listening to music right now.
It's true. There is in my head right now. It's in my head. All right, so Smoothie he's been doing Howdy Inc. stuff with us for a very long time. Not since the very beginning. He did not. What was the first thing that you did with us? Because we did the Howdy shows first. I don't think you were on any of the Howdy shows.
I've been around since the inception of Howdy Inc., but I didn't. None of the radio. I listened to the radio shows. The first my actual participation was when we were doing Howdy Radio version 3. I don't know which, or Howdy TV. No, it was still Howdy Radio, wasn't it? When we did the new stream. So that was the very first thing.
Was that before Ninja Land?
No, that was after Ninja Land.
Okay. I think Ninja Land was the first thing that you were actually a part of, right?
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
fantastic
that was a
opus.
Stupid movie that we made 10 years ago, and Smoothie, who lives in a completely other state from us, he was not actually there when we were filming it, but he just filmed his own little thing and sent it to us, and then we just put it in the movie, and it was a really cool way to get into the movie.
So it was in another location?
Yeah.
I never even noticed that when I watched it.
Yeah, I've never met Smoothie before in my life. In person, I never have. So he recorded his parts at home and then just sent them, and we put them in there. That's cool that you didn't know that he wasn't there when we recorded it. That means we did a good job.
Yeah,
I think the closest we've almost ever came to getting together was there was that chance of Eddie Vedder, I think, coming to Upper Darby years ago, but like a wedding or something.
That's exactly right.
Came up.
Sister got married. My sister-in-law got married, and I was not able to do that. One of these days, we'll make it up there. All right. I think Lane's got a couple questions that we wanted to go through here real quick with you. Take it away, Lane.
So I hear that you also have your own YouTube channel.
Yes, I do.
So, what is that called?
The name of my YouTube channel is INC_Smoothie Entertainment.
So, what made you...
Where'd you get that name from?
Where did I get that name? All right, let's step back into some Howdy history for a moment here. And
let's do that.
Back in our very last podcast, before this one, the one in 2012, I was really into Kevin Smith's Smodcast and that kind of stuff. And I said, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea if we're all doing these podcasts? We had, at that time, Barcast. Did we reinvent Square 2 again at that time as well?
I think so, yeah.
And then we had Howdy Radio. Mm-hmm. And I said, we should all make like separate Twitter accounts with INC, our name at the time. And nobody else drank the Kool-Aid, but I did. And I still rock it with pride. It's my connection to this, and it just keeps me focused on what I enjoy doing and the people I enjoy doing it with.
That's awesome. So go on down there, Lane.
So what made you want to become a YouTuber?
It just seemed fun. It seemed like everybody was doing it at that time. Now, with how I met your dad and everything, and all the Howdy Inc. was through Insane Clown Posse and the whole Juggalo culture at the time and different message boards. That was a big thing back then. I don't know if they're still a big thing now or not, message boards or forums.
Think so.
But there were a lot of... Go ahead. Sorry. That's the only part about podcasting we still have to get, the over-talking people, but that's neither here nor there. But we would... A lot of juggalos at that time, and people were just on there filming themselves doing stupid stuff, talking about ICP and whatnot. And I just thought it was interesting. It was a nice community at the time, and it was just at the time you were doing the Howdy shows and the video thing. It was just a new medium that was very entertaining. It was nice to be able to get that glimpse into, like, when you would do the Howdy radios, like see that side of your life and see you and Kyle and these people that you just see words pretty much in a picture here and there, but to see the interaction and the goofy and randomness. So it was just kind of, that's something I want to do. And it wasn't until years late, like 2010 is when I actually started my first YouTube channel. So
I think I also started in 2012 is when I actually started doing YouTube, that was Tyler and Riley when me and Tyler started doing it. Yeah, I think it was 2012. I'm pretty sure if you still look it. Well, we changed it to the weird Middle 316, which was not capital and a space between Middle 316, which was supposed to be like a Minecraft channel. Okay. But we had nothing to actually do with that because we didn't. At that point, I didn't use Twitch to do that kind of stuff to make my actual videos. So, because then you would need a capture card to do that stuff. And you would have to use a monitor and everything to actually record that stuff, and we had none of that stuff. So
what are your videos like on your channels?
Right now, at the moment, they're mostly vlogs, and that's why I've been doing them for years. But I decided at the end of we're in 2017 now. The end of 2015, I decided to take the whole vlogging thing more serious and just kind of a challenge to myself, because prior to that, I would do a video here and there, but it was never anything consistent. When we were doing Howdy Radio, I would do off air with INC Smoothie and just kind of recap the shows and stuff. And then
I forgot about that.
But then there would be like gaps, and then like 3 months later, hey, I'm back just to talk about my life, which half the people at that time wouldn't even recognize or remember, whatever. And so I was like, let me try and make this more daily and be more consistent with and see where it goes or how it develops, and so that's how the New Old Vlog was birthed.
So why is it called the New Old Vlog?
It's a very good question, and I'm glad you asked that, because as I mentioned, I was vlogging, but I wasn't being very consistent. I would do like 3 days in a row and then take 3 months off and then come back to it. So I figured when I decided to finally make it something more consistent and make something of it, I came up with the idea or the concept of the new old vlog, new being in quotes, because it's really the same old vlog, but I'm bringing it back. It's new, so more the same old same, nothing really spectacular. Just it's new.
But it's also old.
And it's old at the same time, and it's a vlog.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, now I get it.
Oh, okay. So how much time do you put in each episode?
It really depends on the amount of footage I record throughout the day. Now, typically, I record in the morning before I go to work, and the afternoon when I come back from work, and then if there's anything going on at night, I'll record or do something. But typically, if we're just staying in, like if I'm coming home and just eating dinner, they'll be really short things. So the editing process, depending on what I want to make of it, and I haven't recently used too much additional music in it or many edits or cuts or anything. So typically from start to finish, it takes me about 45 minutes to actually edit everything together, and then about an hour to compile it, because I do the highest settings, 60 frames, all that good stuff. And then
I can't even handle that stuff.
Do you use your phone to record everything?
I use a combination. When I'm just sitting in the car in the morning, I have a little action cam. It's like a GoPro. It's a cheap knockoff, but it does what I need it to do. And then
That's cool. You have that in your car at all times?
Yeah, I'll bring it in. I mean, obviously I bring it in, but I have a mount in there permanently, and I'll use that. And then my phone when I'm out and about, because I don't feel like lugging around the camera.
Yeah.
But like at home, I'll pull out or if I'm just going to be around the house or locally or not work related, on the weekend, maybe I'll take my camera with me.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool. And you're going to keep on doing that for a long time to come, I would assume, right?
I am. I mean, I had a little drought or dry spell at the beginning of last fall with it, kind of like I fell into that whole YouTube trap. Oh, I'm not getting as many views or subscribers as I want.
Gotcha.
You start comparing yourself to other people, even like smaller people.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just pulled out of that. I did Vlogmas, which is a big thing in the vlog community, 25 days. And then along with the weight loss, I said, I'm going to, be consistent with it each day. And now what had helped me, part of it too, is burnout, of course, doing a daily vlog each and every day. And
that's a lot of work.
Yeah, and trying to make the edits. And, there'll be some nights I'd be up until like 11 o'clock trying to get an episode in. And, I get up early. So what I changed up this year, and which is the one that'll be going up today, is actually vlog number 83 for the year. So
nice.
What I've changed up was I'll record like yesterday. So all today's content will be uploaded tomorrow.
Gotcha.
So it's still this day, but I can record it and not have to worry about hitting a deadline with it.
Yeah.
So what you recorded yesterday would be uploaded today?
Yes. So the vlog that's up and available today, as of March 25th, is actually Friday's vlog. The stuff from Friday.
Okay. So that means tomorrow's upload, you'll need to give us a shout out and tell everybody to check out the new episode of Howdy Radio.
I definitely will. And if you have 1 second, here, let me see something here.
All right.
And I will do that for your channel also.
Yeah. What do you got going on?
We're going to pull out the trusty old camera here.
We're going to do 2 shows at once.
We are. We're going to do the vlog.
This is awesome.
All right,
this
everyone.
was not planned at all.
This was not planned. All right, everyone. I am sitting here recording with my buddy and friend, Mr. Captain Howdy himself from Howdy Inc. Brandon.
What's up?
And there's Brandon, and there's his son, Lane. And they're bringing back the Howdy Inc. podcast, the next generation.
That's right.
And the Howdy Radio. So be sure to check it out. I will leave links to the iTunes feed in the description below, and I will also leave links to, I'm still not good at this pointing over the shoulder stuff.
That stuff is hard.
To Lane's channel in my description below. Make sure you check him out, give him a like, give him a sub, give him a shout out, tell him your boy Smoothie sent you. So we're going to get back to this podcast now, and we'll see you in a bit.
Very cool.
Just all happened at once.
2 shows at once. That's never been done in the history of Howdy Inc. ever.
See that? You never know what you're going to get around here.
That's awesome. I think that's a perfect way to wrap it up, Smoothie. That was awesome. Well, thanks for doing this with us, man. Sorry that you got bumped to episode 3 also.
Yeah.
But we will for sure have you on again, because we'll run out of guests here soon, and then we're going to start getting people back on again. So we will for sure have you back on again one day.
That's quite all right. I don't mind being bumped to episode 3. I respect the first 2 choices, since they were both, well, you gotta have Liz first since she's your wife. And
yeah, absolutely.
Bad. But Dave,
I was like, Smoothie will understand that I gotta have Liz first.
Yeah. And I understand Dave too. I get that too.
And you did come before Tyler, because next week is going to be Tyler. So you did come before my other kid.
And I did not know that.
Which technically he would have had every right, because he was in the early Howdy
totally.
shows. So
you don't want to do it though, so he's nervous about doing it. So I was like, we'll get Smoothie on and we'll do him next week then.
Typical teenager type.
Absolutely, yes. All right, man.
And then we're gonna run out of ideas once Tyler's done. Like, who else do we?
Oh, we got plenty of people we'll go through. All right, thanks, Smoothie. We'll talk to you later, man.
All right, thanks for having me.
And that's it. That's our longest show yet. Every week we keep talking longer and longer and never shutting up, never know when to stop. And
Shut up.
All right. See you next week.